Today podcast or whatever video that I'm doing gonna be in my car today. As if you can see, I got a lot of stuff that's in my car. And I want to tell you how the Trump administration made it possible. See, my daughter she went to school to do hair, and she went to school to do nails, and then she did the body wax, and she knew how to do the lashes and all of that. And she said, Mama, she said, I can't really buy the equipment that I want. She said, because she said that equipment is expensive, especially the sit-down dryer. She said, but if I could get it, I'll have my little business inside my house, like a beauty shop. And she said, and I can be able to do some stuff. Well, God works in mysterious ways, because one of these mom and pop MAGA, small business MAGA, got evicted from their business. He says, I don't understand how this could have happened. He said, because when Trump was in office the last time, things were really good for me. He said, I made money. He said that he bailed us out. See, I didn't want to tell him that, he really inherited Obama's administration. That's just like telling somebody that your boyfriend cheating on you. They don't want to hear it. They know it's true, but they don't want to hear it. And that loan and the PPP and all of that came from Congress, Democrat Congress. Trump just slapped his name on it, but they don't want to hear that. It's just like telling a child that Santa Claus don't exist anymore. So I just so happened to drove past there, and some just said, go back. So I went back, and lo and behold, I found wash bowls that were still in the box. I found stuff still in plastic, never been used. And they said, you know what? They said they got a dryer that you sit up under, but you got to find it. It's in sections. I said, well, call my daughter. I said, well, I told her, showed her what she wanted. She got a cabinet with the little plug on the side. They said that's a little expensive. I got stuff in the house and everything, and you can tell it ain't been used. So I called her. She told me everything. She said, Mama, it'd really be nice if I could get that dryer, the sit-down dryer. Well, she got that kind of mama that, what, if you tell me you going to the moon, we finna start finding out when we can go and how much the tickets are and start planning. I'm that mama. If you tell me, what, I want to learn how to crochet, I'm going to go buy all the yarn and stuff for you to do. I'm that kind of mama. If you tell me I want to get a house, I'm going to try to tell you programs and stuff that'll help you get a house. If you tell mama that, I want to start learning how to skate, mama going to go buy her some skates and she going to learn how to skate with you. Because I'm that kind of mama. But enough about that situation. So this morning, because the man said he was going to have the stuff, put in a dumpster, all that new stuff put in a dumpster by between 8 o'clock and noon, I didn't want to take a chance. So this morning I got up at 4 something, got ready at 5 and went through them boxes and stuff. And lo and behold, I found my daughter a dryer, the sit-down dryer, the seat, the blower, and a couple of head things to put on, for the dryer for her thing. Found her everything. Right now, she got a complete salon that I have to take up there to her. And you said, Samantha, well, what's the point about this? You know what? I'm going to tell you something that I learned. I really learned. What is what God has, if whatever that's done in bad, God gonna turn it around in good. Because you know what? The tariffs are becoming an impact now. GM reported $1 billion loss. All these car companies are reporting a loss. The housing market ain't as strong to handle all this stuff. People are losing their jobs. Even though unemployment is at a low, that's because right now a lot of people are going into their 401ks. They going into their savings. They trying not their best not to be a statistic that they voted against. Come on now. A lot of folks are doing that. They putting hold on Section 8 checks. A lot of folks are not realizing that. You have folks who now are finna become part of the homeless community. You got folks now that have to make a decision about their mama, about their grandmama, how they gonna make it. You got folks that's about to walk away from their home. Because you know why? Because of all this stuff. But don't panic. Don't panic. I don't like when people panic. Don't panic. Because like I said, some of us are going to be protected. Some of us halfway. Then those who didn't, You know, the Grim Reaper is messing with us. Yeah, he is. You know, it's bad enough. He got rid of Chuck, the brilliant jazz musician. He got rid of another one of them Project 2025 folks. Then he got rid of Hulk Hogan. I guess, he orange. He just got the wrong orange. But anyway, some of y'all right now, I'm going to tell you, this is one of your best blessings that's about to happen. See, I'm going to keep my truck clean. I'm going to keep my seats down, and I'm going to, transport stuff. Because, see, I'm going to tell you something. All these mom and pop stores that was struggling, that had that could have got small business, that could have help. See, they feeling the first effect of it. They're the major impacts. They're the biggest casualties. Ooh, thought that. And now they're trying to figure out in some small way, how did it happen to them? How? And he steady distracted. Them eggs ain't did no thing. That food didn't go down no more. Gas and kind of went up. All these things that he promised that he would. I can understand if he was really working on it. He didn't just gave up. Instead, he trying to drag other folks into there, trying to drag Canada into this, and Canada saying no, and he causing wars, and he's sitting up here, he deporting everybody that, that's brown. Everybody. The United States is now the FAFO now. We the major one. It ain't just a different breed or class or whatever. It's all of us. Because I'm gonna tell you, they getting rid of Trump. They finna get rid of him. J.D. Vance is coming up. Because look how long it's been. Now all of a sudden you seeing all these Epstein files coming out. Things that you wouldn't have never known that we've been asking for the longest. Where's the Epstein files? You still have the MAGA that's saying, well, I don't care. He molested my child. He touched her. I don't care. I don't care if he just did all of that. He's President Trump. Amazing, ain't it? It gives you that opportunity to see how mega is. See, because right now the banks are feeling the effect. And the credit card people are feeling the effect. Yeah. I get now. I'm getting so many pre-approved stuff. I'm like, wait a minute now. Well, whoa, where all this come from? They trying to survive with the president. And now they're getting ready to subpoena the files. My friend Miss Dorothy used to always tell me, baby, there's always checks and balance in the world of good and evil. Whenever evil get to corrupt, good always come. Where did I get that dirty? Ooh, that's probably from thing. He always says checks and balance. There's always. And so for those of you who trying to go get a house, it's coming. Those of you who need a car, it's coming. It's coming. But now we got to prepare for the possibility of them trying to reshape this world, this country. Because now we have to deal with J.D. Vance. He ain't nowhere near this. That's what we think. And that's what we hope. And that's why it is so important that when you start thinking about this, it ain't, I do this podcast or this video, whatever it is. I don't do it just to bring my subscribers in and then start selling merchandise and all of that. No. I do it for two reasons. One, it helps me vent. Two, it helps me speak the truth. Because that's something that we don't want to hear again, the truth. The truth, we don't want to hear it. Even when we make a mistake, we don't want to hear it. Or we think that we did it with good intentions. We don't want to hear the truth. We don't want nobody to say that we were the cause of whatever that's happening. But you are. If you voted for him, you are. You're the cause. We don't want to look like the bad guy. We don't want to say that we are impacted about it. Because see, I'm going to tell you something that people are meant to believe. Two black women that have been posting videos about them getting government benefits. One was at the grocery store getting a whole bunch of food and Zuzus and Wham Whams. And then you got another one that's getting government assistance, Section 8 food stamps and all that other stuff. And she got designer bags. See, one thing I learned is this right here. If you're going to call yourself clown, getting over on the government, why you bragging about it? See, this reminds me when this white couple had beat the bankruptcy system. They went and bought back then you could have went and bought took a credit card and bought a house, a car. American Express was very, very high back then. You could have went and bought a house, a car. You could have bought some land, a boat, anything. Bill came out to be $2 million. Then you went down to the courthouse that morning when the bill came and filed bankruptcy. Because that stuff was paid through a credit card. It was an unsecured debt. So you basically got a free house, a free car, land, boat, whatever that was. But see, it took that one idiot that went on Good Morning America that did that they started evolving and changing the bankruptcy laws in the United States. To where it is now the judge can make a ruling and tell if you are 13 or 7, even if you apply for it. So this is where this is coming about. When you see folks that are getting something and don't know how to keep their mouth shut, shut up. Everything ain't work. Everything that goes on in my life don't need to be posted. Everything that goes on in your life don't need to be on Facebook. Don't need to be on social media. If you sitting up here selling, the do, don't be posting it. They use that stuff against you. Don't sit up here and post stuff that like that Venezuelan boy. He telling everybody Come to the Venezuela, you criminals, come on over here, and I ain't worked and everything. And when they got there, he was the first to be deported. Now look at them. All of them are considered gangs now. Sometimes it takes one bad apple to mess up a whole bunch of stuff. And sometimes, you got to just, don't let everybody know what's going on. That's if you're doing it. Me, like I said, I'm hoping and praying one day I can get me a tiny home on some land. That's my plan. Is it going to come? Yeah, it's going to come. But if you think that I'm going to be on here with designer bags and expensive drinks and say, hey, I get all these benefits and I don't work and I ain't trying to work and all of that. Well, then you finna find out. You finna find out. So, for those of you who have ambition, who have a drive, who have hope, go for it. I said, go for it. Take this bad situation and turn it around for good. I'm finna use my daughter to turn it around for good. Me and Miss Ophelia, we've been going along for a while. But then at the same time, for those of you who getting fresh out of not having a job after 20, 30 years, and here it is, you're 30 years old and you don't want to work, reality finna hit you like a motherfucker. Because if you ain't never worked, you ain't used to working, I guarantee you, reality, you gonna cry many days. Y'all have a happy Friday.